A study by the United States Government Accountability Office tested 47 brand name products purchased from third-party sellers on major online marketplaces. 20 of them came back counterfeit. That's a 42% fake rate on products that looked real, were listed as real, and were sold alongside legitimate inventory on platforms most people trust without a second thought. And perfume is one of the most counterfeited product categories on Earth. The global counterfeit fragrance market hit $3.14 billion in 2025. Not million. Billion. Fake perfumes now represent an estimated 28% of global perfume sales. And some of these counterfeits contain chemicals at concentrations over 2,000 times the legal safety limit. So where you buy your perfume isn't just a question of price, it's a question of whether you're spraying genuine fragrance on your skin or a cocktail of industrial solvents packaged to look like Dior. Today, we're ranking the 6 worst places to buy perfume in 2026, from counterfeit risk to markup to return policy problems. And then we're giving you 5 places where fragrance experts actually spend their own money. Places with authentication, honest pricing, and supply chains you can verify. That second list is more valuable than the first one, but you need to understand the dangers before the solutions make sense. Number 6, discount fragrance websites. Sites like FragranceNet and FragranceX operate in what the industry calls the grey market. They are not counterfeit sellers. Let me be clear about that. These companies have been operating for decades. They ship millions of packages, they carry real products, and they have legitimate return policies. FragranceNet has an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. So why are they on this list? Because grey market means the supply chain is uncontrolled. These retailers buy inventory from a web of distributors, overstock liquidators, and international wholesalers. The perfume in your order is authentic, but you have no idea where it has been sitting, for how long, or at what temperature. Fragrance degrades when exposed to heat, light, or extended storage. A bottle that sat in a hot warehouse in the Middle East for 18 months before being rerouted to a discount seller in New York may smell noticeably different from the same fragrance purchased fresh from an authorized dealer. Members of the fragrance community on Reddit and Fragrantica consistently report that some bottles from grey market sites smell off or fade faster than identical purchases from authorized retailers. The juice is real. The batch might just be old, poorly stored, or from an international formulation that differs from the domestic version. For budget shoppers, these sites can work fine. But if you are spending $200 or more on a niche fragrance, the savings are not worth the uncertainty. You do not know what you are getting until you spray it. Number 5, department store fragrance counters. This one is going to bother some people because department stores feel like the safe option. The products are genuine. The supply chain is authorized. You can smell before you buy. So what is the problem? The commission structure is the problem. Department store fragrance sales associates work on commission, often earning 3 to 10% of each sale. Some counters run internal promotions that incentivize staff to push specific brands or launch new products. When you walk up to Macy's or Nordstrom and ask for a recommendation, the person helping you has a direct financial incentive to steer you toward whatever generates the highest commission for them, not whatever actually smells best on your skin. On top of that, department stores carry the highest retail markup in the fragrance market. You are paying full manufacturer's suggested retail price plus the operational cost of prime real estate, staffed counters, and point-of-sale displays that the brand funded. A 3.4-ounce bottle of Dior Sauvage at Nordstrom costs the exact same $155 as it does on Dior's own website. But the store has to cover those overhead costs somehow, which means there is zero room for deals, incentives, or price flexibility. Department stores are not dangerous. They are just expensive, biased, and rarely the best value for your money. The products are real, but the advice is not neutral. Number 4. Ulta. In 2018, a former Ulta employee posted on social media saying management had asked her to repackage and reshelve returned cosmetics and fragrance products for new customers to purchase. The post went viral. Then more employees came forward confirming the same practice at their locations. CBS News covered the story. 2 class action lawsuits were filed. Ulta denied the allegations, calling them inconsistent with our practices. But from a consumer trust perspective, the damage was done. When the company and its own employees are telling different stories publicly, that is a credibility problem that does not just go away because of a press release. Since then, Ulta has updated its return policy multiple times, most recently in November 2024. They now accept returns of gently used products within 30 days with proof of purchase. The question that fragrance buyers should be asking is what happens to those returned bottles after they come back. Ulta says returned products are destroyed. Former employees have said otherwise. Because fragrance bottles can be partially used without any visible evidence on the packaging, you have no way to verify whether the sealed box you are buying contains a fresh product or one that has already been sprayed, returned, repackaged, and put back on the shelf. For a $25 body mist, maybe that risk does not matter to you. For a $150 designer fragrance, it should. Number 3. Duty-free shops. Most travellers assume duty-free means cheaper. The logic sounds airtight. No taxes, no duties, lower price. But the reality is far more complicated, and in many cases the savings are either minimal or completely non-existent. A 2022 investigation by The Points Guy compared prices of popular duty-free items across 12 major international airports and benchmarked them against standard retail. The findings were uncomfortable. Dubai was the most expensive airport for perfume. Several airports showed price parity with or higher prices than regular retail for luxury fragrances. A more recent analysis found that duty-free perfume savings averaged just 2.3% compared to local premium retail. That is not the 15 to 25% discount most travellers expect. Here is why. Duty-free operators pay massive rent and concession fees to airports. Those costs get baked into the retail price. The tax savings are real, but they are offset by operational overhead. Because travellers are a captive audience with limited time and no competing stores nearby, duty-free operators have little incentive to actually discount. On top of the pricing illusion, many duty-free stores stock travel exclusive formulations and sizes that do not exist in regular retail. You cannot comparison shop a product that only exists inside the airport. That is by design. The savings are not fake because of deception. They are fake because the overhead structure eats whatever tax benefit existed. For American travellers specifically, US sales tax on perfume is typically 4 to 10% depending on the state. Duty-free removes that. But if the base price has been inflated by 8 to 12% due to airport concession costs, you are breaking even or paying more. The math does not lie. Number 2. TikTok shop. The counterfeit perfume market exploded by nearly 30% during the 2025 holiday season alone. Social media platforms, and TikTok shop in particular, have become primary distribution channels for fake fragrances. The problem is not that every perfume on TikTok Shop is fake. Some sellers are legitimate distributors. The bigger issue is that the platform has no standardized authentication process for fragrance products. TikTok partners with Entropy for luxury handbag authentication, but fragrances do not receive the same treatment. Any seller can list a bottle of Creed Aventus or Tom Ford Tobacco Vanille without providing proof of authorized sourcing, batch verification, or supply chain documentation. A staggering 70% of Generation Z and 63% of millennials admit to knowingly purchasing counterfeit products, according to counterfeit market research from 2025. For many young buyers, the fake is good enough. But with perfume, the fake is not just a weaker scent. Forensic chemists have found counterfeit fragrances containing benzyl alcohol and hydroxycitronellyl at concentrations over 2,000 times the legal safety limit. One reported case involved a buyer being hospitalized with chemical burns after using a counterfeit Tom Ford fragrance purchased online. Another case resulted in permanent scarring from a fake Chanel No. 5. TikTok Shop offers buyer protection refunds, sure, but there is no refund policy for chemical burns. Until the platform implements fragrance-specific authentication, buying perfume through TikTok Shop is a gamble. And the downside is not just losing money, it is a medical risk. And number 1, Amazon. Amazon is the single most dangerous place to buy luxury fragrance in 2026, and it is not even close. The GAO study we opened this video with found a 42% counterfeit rate among brand name products from third-party sellers on major marketplaces. Amazon's commingled inventory system makes the problem even worse. Under this system, when multiple sellers offer the same product, their inventory can be pooled into a single warehouse bin. That means even if you click buy on a listing from a reputable seller, the actual bottle shipped to you might have come from a different seller's stock. Imagine one legitimate bottle sitting next to 4 fakes in the same bin, and you have no way to know which one you are getting. For most product categories, a counterfeit is disappointing. For fragrance, it is potentially hazardous. The counterfeit perfume market is now valued at over $3 billion globally, and online marketplaces are the single largest distribution channel. Custom seizures of fake perfumes and cosmetics doubled between 2016 and 2019 and have continued climbing since. Chanel is particularly risky on Amazon. The brand has historically chosen to destroy excess stock rather than allow it to reach unauthorized resellers. That means the vast majority of Chanel fragrances listed on Amazon at suspiciously low prices are either counterfeit, diverted from international markets, or old stock of unknown provenance. Fragrance community veterans consistently advise against buying Chanel from any secondary seller for this reason. Amazon does have some authorized brand stores and listings that are shipped from and sold by Amazon, which reduce the risk. But the platform's structure makes it extraordinarily difficult for average consumers to distinguish between a legitimate listing and a counterfeit one. And for a product you spray directly on your skin, probably fine is not a standard anyone should accept. Alright, that's where not to buy. Now let's talk about where fragrance experts actually spend their own money. If this investigation has been useful, subscribe right now so you do not miss the next one. Great option number 5, brand websites. The simplest, most reliable option. Chanel.com, Dior.com, YSL.com. Tom Ford's site through Estee Lauder. When you buy directly from the brand, you eliminate every supply chain risk. The product is fresh, authenticated at the source, and ships from the brand's own fulfillment center. Most brand websites offer complimentary shipping, samples with purchase, and return policies that match or exceed department stores. You pay full retail, yes, but you know exactly what you are getting. Great option number 4, Sephora. Sephora is an authorized retailer for virtually every major designer and niche brand. Unlike department stores, Sephora's beauty advisors do not work on commission, so their recommendations are based on training and not financial incentive. Sephora also offers a points-based rewards program, regular sale events, and a generous return policy. Because LVMH owns Sephora, they maintain tight relationships with fragrance brands and receive fresh inventory directly from manufacturers. The authentication risk is essentially zero. If you want to smell before you buy and get unbiased advice, Sephora is the retail standard and the most reliable place to start. Great option number 3, Lucky Scent. Based in Los Angeles, Lucky Scent is the go-to online retailer for niche and artisanal fragrance. It is an authorized dealer for hundreds of niche houses, from Amouage to Xerjoff to Frederic Malle. Every product ships directly from their temperature-controlled warehouse. They offer discovery sets and samples for most brands, so you can try a $4 sample before committing to a $300 bottle. What makes Lucky Scent different from grey market sites is the authorization. When a brand grants authorized dealer status, it means Lucky Scent receives inventory directly from the brand or its official distributor. No middlemen, no mystery warehouses, no question marks about storage. The prices are usually full retail, sometimes slightly below, but the product integrity is guaranteed. Great option number 2, Twisted Lily. A Brooklyn-based niche fragrance boutique that has become one of the most respected independent perfume retailers in the country. Twisted Lily carries a carefully curated selection of niche and artisanal brands, all sourced directly from the perfumers. They have a physical store where you can sample in person, and a fully functional online shop with the same authorized inventory. What sets Twisted Lily apart is their curation philosophy. They don't carry everything. They carry what they believe in. Every brand in their catalogue was personally vetted. For buyers who feel overwhelmed by the niche market, Twisted Lily functions like a trusted editor. Their staff are trained fragrance specialists, not commissioned salespeople. And because they operate as an authorized dealer for every brand they carry, the authenticity question never arises. Great option number 1, verified decant communities and sample services. This is the option that experienced fragrance enthusiasts use more than anything else. Before spending $200 to $400 on a full bottle, buy a 2 to 5 milliliter decant from a verified community member or from a dedicated decant service. Wear it for a week. See how it develops on your skin, how long it lasts, whether people compliment it, or whether it gives you a headache by the 3rd hour. Then decide whether the full bottle is worth it. The subreddits r/fragrances/wap and r/fragdecants on Reddit have established verification systems where trusted sellers build reputation through hundreds of confirmed transactions. Dedicated decant businesses also operate with full transparency about their sourcing. The cost per decant is typically $5 to $20, which means you can test 10 niche fragrances for the price of one blind buy bottle. This approach saves you hundreds of dollars and eliminates the most expensive mistake in the fragrance hobby, buying a full bottle of something that smells incredible on a paper strip and terrible on your skin 4 hours later. Every fragrance expert has made that mistake once. The smart ones stopped doing it by discovering decants. 6 places to avoid, ranging from mildly overpriced to genuinely dangerous. 5 places to shop, ranging from convenient to community-driven. The takeaway is simple. In a market where 28% of perfume sales involve counterfeits, and where even legitimate retailers have been caught reshelving returns, where you buy matters as much as what you buy. Know your source. Verify the supply chain. And if a deal looks too good to be true, spray it on paper before you spray it on skin. YouTube thinks this is the video you should watch next. Click it. And if this saved you from a bad purchase, subscribe. We investigate a different corner of the fragrance industry every week.